In this video, we'll talk about distributive property. What is distributive property? Distributive property says that multiplying a number, so it has to do with multiplication, multiplying a number by a group of numbers added together is the same as doing each multiplication separately. So here's the key. We are doing each multiplication separately. Let's see how that looks like. So I have a number 3, which is being multiplied by a group of numbers 8 and 2 added together. So we are multiplying a number 3 by a group of numbers 2 and 8 right here added together. So that is the same as equal doing each multiplication separately. So here is the key. How do we do this multiplication separately? So the number 3 is going to be multiplied by 8, and then the same number 3 is going to be multiplied by 2. So the number 3 will be multiplied 2 times. Multiplication separately, 2 times. So we have 3 times 8, 24, and then plus 3 times positive 2, 6. And 24 plus 6 is 30. So we have this multiplication done separately, and then 24 plus 6 are two numbers, so we can add them, and that's 30. To check that, we can see that inside the parentheses we have 8 plus 2, which is 10, and then if I follow the order of operations, multiplying by 3, it's still 30. So you can have that answer in a different way. However, if the first number 4 is multiplied by a group of numbers where one is a variable term and one is a constant, we cannot combine these two in parentheses. So this is the trick. If inside the parentheses we have two different terms, we cannot just add them and then multiply by 4 or subtract them and multiply by 4. That's not going to work because these two are not like terms and they cannot be grouped together. So this is when we have to do the multiplication by each number separately. So number 4, the number outside, will be multiplied 2 times. 4 times 2x is 8x. Don't forget the variable. And then 4 times negative 5. Again, 4 times negative 5. Make sure you multiply the sign in front of the term is minus or negative 20. And this is your simplified expression, 8x minus 20. So we cannot combine terms that are not the same kind. This is all we can do. We can do each multiplication separately, which means use the distributive property. So to distribute means to multiply the number outside by each term inside the parentheses. So there is always a number that will be multiplied by the terms inside the parentheses. For instance, what if 2 is multiplied by 3x minus 4? So inside the parentheses, I have two terms, and they each have to be multiplied by 2. 2 times 3x and 2 times negative 4. Again, we're multiplying the number outside by each term inside. So 2 has to be multiplied 2 times. 2 times 3, 6, and the x. 2 times negative 4. So positive times negative. Positive times negative is negative 8. And that's it. We did our multiplication 2 times. This is the final answer. Here is the number outside 3, and we have to multiply it by x minus 2. So by looking at the terms inside the parentheses, we have x, that means 1x, and we are going to multiply the same 3 by the second term. So we have to multiply 2 times the number outside multiplied by each term separately. 3 times 1x will be 3x. 3 times negative 2, or 3 times minus 2. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Final answer, 3x minus 6. So the expression 1x minus 2 was tripled. So instead of 1x, we have 3x, and instead of 2, we have 6. So we multiplied each term by 3. Next example. Outside, we have the negative 2, and we have to multiply it by 2 terms, each term separately. Again, we need to multiply the number outside by each term inside. So we have to multiply negative 2 times 5. Negative times positive is negative 10. And then we attach that y to it. And then negative times negative. Remember to multiply the signs right away. So second term is negative 1. Not just 1, it's negative 1. The number to multiply by is negative 2. So negative times negative times negative is positive 2. Negative 2 times negative 1 is plus 2, positive 2. Plus 2 or positive 2. Okay, same thing. Let's look at another negative here. The number multiplied by the parentheses is negative 4. To distribute means multiply the number outside by each term inside. Multiply. Multiply the number outside separately by 2x and then by 3. So negative 4 times positive 2. Negative times positive will be negative 8x. And then again, negative 4 times plus 3, which is positive 3. So look at the sign. If I cover the 2x, I just see this number, positive 3, and it has to be multiplied by negative 4. Negative 4 times positive 3. Negative times positive is negative 12. Done. Distribution is complete. 5 is multiplied by 8 one time. And then same 5 is multiplied by negative 3y. So 5 times 8, 40. 5 times negative is negative 15y. So negative, because positive times negative, minus and negative means the same thing. So 5 times negative is negative 15 with a y. What if in the next example I see a negative and then I see a group, parentheses means group of 2 terms where you have negative x plus 7. So that negative is that negative hidden coefficient 1, which is multiplied by both terms separately. First, negative 1 is multiplied by negative 2, and then negative 1 will be multiplied by positive 7. So multiply 2 times the number outside multiplied by each inside. Negative times negative is positive 2x. Negative times positive will be negative 7. Here is your expression after the distribution. Negative times negative is positive 2x. 1 times 2 is 2. Negative times positive is negative 1 times 7, 7. So 2x minus 7. Final answer. Let's reinstate this part number 7 example. So the negative in front of a group or parentheses where you have 2 terms means negative 1 multiplied by 1n, and then negative 1 multiplied by negative 3. So This problem had two hidden coefficients. First, in front of the parentheses was just negative. That means -1. And then n and 1n. How many n's? 1n. Negative times positive is negative. 1n. Negative times negative. 1 times 3. So -1 times -3 is +3. And you'll see this expression as this -1 hidden again as a final answer. If it was like a multiple choice or some printed answers for you, you would always see it as -n plus 3. In the next example, I have 3 and inside the parentheses, I have 3 terms. So guess what? I'm going to have to multiply the number 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Because based on our definition, to distribute means that you have to multiply the number outside by each term inside. So if you have 2 terms, you multiply 2 times. If you have 3 terms, well, you have to multiply all 3 because you have to do the multiplication by each term separately. So we have 3 times 2, 6x. 3 times -1y. 3 times -1 is -3. And don't forget the y. And then 3 times +1. Positive times positive is +3. So your final expression again has 3 terms because they're all different. There are no like terms involved. And you had to do the multiplication 3 times. Therefore, you have 3 terms in the final answer. So let's do that again. -4 is the number outside, and it has to be multiplied by 1n. Then that same -4 has to be multiplied by -2m. Then that same -4 has to be multiplied by +2. So we have to do 3 multiplications separately. -4 times 1n is -4n. -4 times -2m. Negative times negative will be +8m. So -4 times -2, +8m. And the last multiplication, -4 times +2. Negative times positive, -8. So your answer must have 3 terms because you had 3 separate multiplications. -4n, negative times negative, +8m, negative times positive, -8. What if we have a negative in front of a group of terms added together? That negative is your -1 hidden coefficient, which is going to be multiplied now 3 times. Each multiplication done separately, -1 times 2a, negative times positive will be -2a. -1 times 3b. Negative times positive is -3b. And the last one, -1 times -7. Negative times negative is +7. 3 terms because we had to do 3 multiplications. Negative times positive, -2a. -1 times +3. Negative times positive is -3b. -1 times -7. Negative times negative is +7. So we have a term, b term, and a constant. for the final answer.